Students, welcome to the next video of Snapshot Lesson 2nd, The Address by Marga Minko. Let's have discussion about the lesson. This short story is a heart-touching description of a daughter who comes back to one of her mother's accounts for the belongings which she had taken away to her own home after taking her in confidence the best safety of her valuable things till the end of the war. It is the story of the human hazards and harassment during the war and after the war, because war has been never considered good, and sometimes many families are devastated by the results of it. Mrs. Yes, a Jewish rich lady, becomes the victim of false insurance of a non-Jewish lady, Mrs. Darling, a selfish woman. The daughter, the girl of Mrs. Yes, lost her house and mother during the war and now decides to come back to take her possessions from Mrs. Darling, an acquaintance whose address was given by her mother years ago, as she was one of her acquaintance and had taken her possessions, her nice belongings along with her, ensuring the mother that these things will be safe in her house. When the girl reaches her house, the woman, the acquaintance of her dead mother, gives her cold reception, and she even doesn't allow her to enter into the house. First, she thinks to return back, but due to second thought, the girl again comes to that address, meets the daughter of the selfish woman this time, and becomes successful to see the belongings of her mother. When she sees them, those objects of her mother, those things of her mother's, the memory of her earlier life, all these things were evoked by it. In other words, those objects evoked the memory of her earlier life. Yet she decides to leave those things all behind and determines to move on. Let us have summary of the lesson. After the end of students, let us have the summary of the lesson, the address, before starting of the explanation. After the end of the war in Holland, the girl, daughter of Mrs. S, reached the address given by her mother. After ringing the bell, after ringing the doorbell of Mrs. Darling, who lived at that number 46 in Marconi Street, the girl received the cold reception from Mrs. Darling, the owner of the house, as well as the one of the, in other words, can say, best acquaintance of her mother. First, the lady denied to recognize her. Mind the point, students. First, the lady denied to recognize her, and if she recognized her, she took much time in recognition. Mrs. Darling thought that everyone in the protagonist family was dead, and she asked if anyone of her family had come along with her. Mrs. Darling refused to let the protagonist, that is, the main character, daughter of Mrs. S, inside her home and told her to come back some other time. The girl recognized her mother's green cardigan, which Mrs. Darling was wearing. She decided to go back to the railway station and thought about her mother and how she told her about Mrs. Darling, who was an acquaintance of her mother's, or who was an acquaintance of hers. During the war, Mrs. Darling would visit their house. During the war, Mrs. Darling would visit their house and took their possessions with her, as she didn't want them to get lost if they ever left the place. Mrs. Darling had a broad bag. The girl decided to go to Mrs. Darling's home to get back their belongings. When she rang the bell, Mrs. Darling's daughter answered the bell. This time, she let her in and asked her to wait in the living room. When they were crossing the passage, the daughter, the girl, daughter, or you can say the chief character of the lesson, noticed their Hanukkah candle standing that they had never used because it was hard to manage it. That Hanukkah candle was hanging and she recognized it immediately. When the daughter reached the living room, she was horrified as well as surprised. Surprised to see all her mother belongings were arranged in a uninteresting way. In other words, in a tasteless way. The furniture was ugly. The costly, nice furniture of the mother or of her family, which was carried by the lady, were looking ugly, and the room had a musty smell, and it made her disinterested. The musty smell, which was unpleasant, producing damp smell, made the girl, made the daughter of Mrs. S disinterested, and she wanted to leave the room. She wanted to leave the place as soon as possible. Mrs. Darling's daughter offered her a cup of tea, and the protagonist noticed the old tablecloth that had burn mark on it. When the girl of Mrs. Darling was showing her the silver fork and spoons that actually belonged to the protagonist, that actually belonged to the daughter's, Mrs. Yes, daughter's mother, she jumped up. The girl jumped up and walked out of the house, seeing those articles there. Now the daughter decided not to visit the place again, as it brought back the memories of the past, and hence she decided to forget the address. Students, let's proceed on paragraph wise explanation of the lesson, the address. Paragraph first, a long paragraph. Let's have reading of it. Do you still know me? I asked. The woman looked at me searchingly. She had opened the door a chink. I came closer and stood on the step. No, I don't know you. I am Mrs. Yes' daughter. She held her hand on the door as though she wanted to prevent it opening any further. Her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition. She kept staring at me in silence. Perhaps I was mistaken. I thought perhaps isn't her. I had seen her only once, fleetingly, and that was years ago. It was most probable that I had rung the wrong bell. The woman let go of the door and stepped to the side. She was wearing my mother's green knitted cardigan. The wooden buttons were rather pale from washing. She saw that I was looking at the cardigan and half hid herself again behind the door. But I knew now that I was right. Well, you knew my mother? I asked. Have you come back? Said the woman. I thought that no one had come back. Only me. A door opened and closed in the passage behind her. A musty smell emerged. I regret I cannot do anything for you. Students, before the explanation, let's see some words of this paragraph as searchingly. Searchingly means observing. Okay, searchingly means with an observing eyes. In before this paragraph, in the introduction of this chapter, a word poignant account of a daughter. Poignant account means heart touching detail. Poignant account means a heart touching detail, right? Searchingly, that is observing. I have told you. Chink means half opened a door. Often you might have seen that somebody sometimes, often the ladies, open the door. The door is half opened, stood in the middle of it, and they talk or have some short discussion over the things with some strange person. This is the sense of chink of a door. Absolutely, that is completely. Recognition, that is identification or familiarity with someone. For example, I recognize my things. I recognize the person who met me in the fair last year. So here recognize means I identified that person. Fleetingly, the word fleetingly means superfluously, on surface, not seriously. Sometimes we see the people fleetingly means we don't mind them so seriously. Okay, we see them superfluously. Probable means possibility. Probable means possibility. Now, let's have the explanation of this paragraph. The girl, daughter of Mrs. S, reached at the address told by her mother and rang the bell. The bell was answered by the lady whom she wanted to see for her mother's belongings. The woman opened the door. The girl asked her whether she, the woman, still knew her. It was so because it had been a long duration of time since they saw one another. The woman looked at the daughter With observing eyes, she had opened the door half and had stood between the doors. She had opened the door half and had stood between. The daughter, the narrator, came closer and stood on the step of the door. The woman replied in negative that no, she didn't know. The girl, the daughter, further said that she was Mrs. Yes' daughter. The woman stood between the door and held her hand on it, such as she wanted to stop it any further. She wanted to step, stop its any further opening of the door. Means she did not want to allow anybody to enter in the house as someone is going to enter forcibly. Such was the psychology of that woman, selfish woman, I can say. He, she face did not give any sign of, you can say, the woman who was standing between the door, her face didn't give any sign of acquaintance completely. She did not show that she recognized her or she has ever met the girl. She looked at her, staring continuously in silence. The girl, the daughter of Mrs. Jess, thought for a while that it was her mistake. Perhaps it wasn't her address. She thought so because she had seen the woman only one time, and superfluously she had seen, and that was years ago. So the girl got confused for time being that she might have rung the wrong bell. It was more possible due to long duration of time. The woman let go. The woman let go of the door and stepped to the side. The girl, the daughter of Mrs. Yes, noticed that she was wearing the cardigan of her mother, which was of green color. It was a green hand knitted cardigan. The wooden buttons of the cardigan had turned yellow because of washing. The woman noticed that the girl was looking at the cardigan. She hid herself behind the door. It could be seen half. Though she hid herself behind the door that the girl should not notice her dress. But the girl was looking and she could hid herself only half. Seeing this, the girl became sure that she was right and had reached at the right address. The daughter further asked the woman, showing affirmation of her first query. If she knew her mother, she didn't know the daughter, doesn't matter. Do you know her mother? She asked. She asked the lady if she knew her mother. Without a reply, the woman asked if they had come back. Her guilty conscience made her to ask this question that if they had come back, she thought that no one had come back. She stand for that selfish woman. And that selfish woman, I am using this word so that the concept should become clear at last to you in the end of the chapter that what had happened. So without hesitation, I am using that selfish, greedy woman made the questions without reply her that she thought that they have not come. No one had come back. The daughter answered that only she had come. A door opened and closed behind the lady in the passage. An unpleasant, damp smell came from it. The woman replied, showing regret that she could do nothing, she cannot do anything for her. I think the sense of the first paragraph might be clear to you. Now let's proceed on the paragraph second. It's reading. See, it's reading. I have come here especially on the train. I wanted to talk to you for a moment. It is not convenient for me now, said the woman. I can't see you. Another time. She nodded and cautiously closed the door as though no one inside the house should be disturbed. I stood where I was on the step. The curtain in front of the bay window moved. Someone stared at me and would then have asked what I wanted. Oh, nothing. The woman would have said. It was nothing. I looked at the nameplate again. Darling, it said, in black letters on white enamel, and on the jamb a bit higher, the number 46. As I walked slowly back to the station, I thought about my mother, who had given me the address years ago. It had been in the first half of the war. I was home for a few days and it struck me immediately that something or other about the rooms had changed. I missed various things. My mother was surprised I should have noticed so quickly. Then she told me about Mrs. Darling. I had never heard of her, but apparently she was an old acquaintance of my mother, whom she hadn't seen for years. She had suddenly turned up and renewed their contact. Since then, she had come regularly. Before the explanation of this paragraph, see some words as convenient. Convenient means comfortable, easygoing, not have any kind of psychological tension or stress, then feeling convenient. I don't feel convenient here. Suppose that you are standing somewhere and listening to somebody, and if you don't feel convenient, don't feel comfortable, then the grasping of the things becomes difficult for the mind. Therefore, convenient. Okay? Nodded. Nodded means to shake hands. I am sorry, you can say to move head from side to side in affirmative and negative. While talking, sometimes when we move our head up and down, then this is affirmative affirmation, means we are agree. But when we turn our head from left to right, then this is negative nod. Okay? The woman nodded, means the woman moved her head in affirmative, either in negative. Cautiously. Cautiously means very carefully. For example, suppose that someone says, be cautious. Be cautious means be careful. Be cautious means be careful. Enamel. Enamel means a white layer, as on our teeth. Nature has given a white layer on our teeth, and any kind of injurious or infectious bacteria or germ first try to destroy the enamel of our teeth, and when they become successful then they enter the inner part of our teeth, the white portion of the teeth which looks, that is enamel. Okay, when we do painting of our articles or of our belongings in our house made of iron or oats, sometimes we use first primer, that is also enamel, and on that basis we do paintings. Okay, in the same way here the name of address, the name of Mr. Darling written on that address, that was written on white surface in black letters. The white surface was enamel. Okay, apparently means clearly, visible to see clearly, that is apparently. Acquaintance means familiar, known to. When acquaintance becomes attached to our emotions, then it is developed into friendship. What happens in our day-to-day life? In day-to-day life, we see people, then we take introduction changes into acquaintance, and when acquaintance is attached to the emotions, then it develops into friendship. Then this region, when go some other city, first we see that have we any acquaintance of ours in that city. When we have acquaintance, the visit or going to the city becomes very easy. This is the meaning of acquaintance. So acquaintance means familiarity or known to. Renewed means to reform. Renewal means to make correct everything, see the things, everything in proper conditions. This is renewal. Now students, let's see the explanation of this paragraph. When the woman of the address denied to accept any acquaintance of her or of her mother, the girl, the daughter of Mrs. S, said her that she had come there especially on the train to talk with you, to talk the woman for a moment. The woman said that she did not feel comfortable that moment. The woman said that she did not feel comfortable to do any talk with her. She can't meet her as well as do any conversation with her. Better come some other time. The woman nodded her head in negative and closed the door carefully. She closed it in such way that someone might be there and should not be disturbed by her opening or closing the door. The girl stood where she was on the step. The curtain of the window that faced the bay, do you know bay, the part of sea, moved aside. Someone looked at her continuously and staring out of that window, and then he would ask what she is. The girl wanted the what she is or what the girl wanted. The cunning woman would have said, "Oh, nothing." The woman might have said to her, perhaps to her husband or to that husband or to that man who was inside the room, that, "Oh, nothing, nothing, it was nothing," she might have told her. Okay. The girl, the narrator, the protagonist, the chief character, the heroine of this chapter, whatever you want to say, the girl looked at the nameplate again, which contained the name Darling in black letters on white enamel, and on the door, little higher than nameplate, number 46. The girl, the narrator, walked back to the railway station, slowly with a heavy mood. She thought about her mother, who had given her the address of Mrs. Darling years ago. The time had been the first half of the war. She recalls that she was at home, staying with her mother for a few days, and all of a sudden she the thought occurred in her mind that something or other about the rooms had changed. The girl recalls the events which took place years ago when the war was going on and half of the complete war was finished. She recalls that she had come home staying with her mother, and one day all of a sudden it occurred that in the rooms there are changing. Something had changed in the rooms, and it was noticed by the daughter. It was noticed by the girl. And then and then about the rooms, she noticed she had missed many things. As in about the room there had been a lot of change, and then when the girl observed the things, she found that many things had been noticed. Her mother was surprised that her daughter had noticed the things so immediately. Then the mother told her daughter about Mrs. Darling. That was the time when girl made inquiry that mother, what are the things where the orchids have gone. Then that time on these questions to respond, mother said about the story of Mrs. Darling. She, the narrator, had never heard of her, but it was clear that she was her an old familiar. She was an old acquaintance of her mother, whom she hadn't seen for years. She had suddenly turned up her mood and got her contacts renewed. From that time, the lady had visited regularly.